Welcome everybody back to Boost and Foreigns, guys, and today we're going to be installing a JB4 boost controller on my B58 740. This also applies to pretty much almost any B58 that comes in a BMW. So guys, let's jump into the video. Welcome everybody back to Boost and Foreigns. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Welcome everybody back. Shout out to my whole Boost and Foreigns family. Much love. I appreciate you guys for your support over about the last year. So definitely watch this video because I've installed the JB4 boost controller on my previous cars. I used to have an Infiniti 3.0T, and pretty much if you go to their website, they might still have the install video when I installed it on the VR30 on the Infinitis. But I've been using this JB4 on this car for almost a year. I had this car for a year, and I recently took it off because I was going to sell it and get, well, a different car. But guess what? I want to go back to putting on the boost controller for this car. So we're going to do a quick install video on installing on a B58. So let's make it simple and easy. First thing, number one, you got to take off your engine cover. Simple. Nothing too hard here. You're going to have two connections. You're going to have a map sensor connection and a boost reference sensor. Also, you're going to have to unclip certain places like this. Just want to make it a little easier because this is where you're going to store your module. You're going to keep it over here by that brake reservoir. And then I'm going to show you guys a simple and easy way how to run the wires. Also, you might not have to pop this up. I'm also going to show you guys an easier way to run the lines and plug it into the OBD through the door jamb, rather than going through any random holes behind the firewall. So the first sensor you need to remove is located right here at the front of the engine. This one right here. You can press or use a flat head. I can even use my nails here and pop out the white, and then pull. You should be able to pull it. I'm trying to do everything on video so it'll be a little easier for you guys. Try your best not to damage or break anything here. Once it's out, then you should be able to push down and pull out. Cool. Now, there's different wire colors here. You want to use, in this case, the brown wire, right? You're going to obviously, I hate to say the word obviously, you're going to connect the male version, the male part right here, and you're going to plug that into here. Actually, I just finished driving the car for about an hour, so it's a little hot. Okay, plug it into here. Make sure you hit the clip, connect, and then you're gonna take this one. Also, you could also look inside, make sure you install into the right sensor. You'd be surprised. I think some people installed it on the wrong ones over there, the wrong sensor. Same thing here. You're gonna wanna, well, I'm gonna have to probably flip this over, but connect it properly so that it meets up properly there. And also the grooves are going to let you know if you try to do it wrong. You see that little groove in there? So it's letting you know that it has to be installed. See, with the little groove right there, it has to be installed that way. Now got this one installed out of the way. Next sensor is going to be your app sensor. That's going to be right here. Look over and see where it is. See, reference from above, from below, and that's the color of the wires. Same thing as I said before. Pull this out. Use your nail, then squeeze and pull. Comes out. Cool. You're gonna take the rainbow connector here. Very similar. Remember, the notches are supposed to line up. You see there's 3 notches there. 1, 2, 3, and then one big wide one. And then if you take a look, 1, 2, 3, and the same thing for in here also. Should be, yep, same. Yeah. Wait, am I looking at the right one? Yeah, that's the male version with the 4. Okay, just want to make sure. And then that's going to slide right into there. All right, so I already clipped in the male version, the female version to the harness, and then the male version plugs into the female sensor, map sensor. So you clip it in. Cool, that's clipped in. Now, those are all the sensors that you need to connect. Now you want to neatly run your lines. Probably shouldn't need. My car keeps turning on and off here. No, I'm all right. Okay. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. All right. Yeah. So I'm clipping this in right here, and we're gonna run this lines. We're gonna make it nice and neat. We're gonna run this line, and we want to run the line under here. So just gonna quickly show you how to do this fast. All right, so one of the ways you can run it after you, is you're not gonna use the EWG. This controls external wastegate. You don't care to use this if you don't want to. I don't use it. I usually never use it even on the other vehicles. Just run the line, make it flat as possible. You don't wanna, and you can run the line back here. You can lift this part up. You see how it is, that little space there, and then you're gonna run it through here. All right, so you're gonna run it through here, see, and then you're gonna put this in here. Now I'm gonna put that in a bag because I've had JB4s before where it is a water seal case. If you tighten it properly, it's supposed to be a water seal, but I've still had issues back in the day with it, and I still don't trust. So I'm gonna put it in a plastic bag to make sure the water gets exposed to it. And then you do the same thing with this line. You run the same area, and then we'll put it over there too. Now to run this line by the door jamb, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna do first, and then I'm just gonna quickly show it. So you're gonna connect this. You're gonna connect this harness to the here, and then we're gonna run the line. We're gonna run it along here. It's gonna run along here, and we're gonna go right over here. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. We're gonna run the line all along here. Yep. And it's gonna go over here, and it's gonna go between the door jamb. I know I'm kind of close. And it's gonna come down and come across this way. So I'm gonna show you the after effect. It's really easy. I'm not gonna hold it on video. It's really simple to do. All right. Took me literally less than 30 seconds. Run it along there. See how I have it running that way. Run it up. Come across. See, it's right here. And it's gonna fit between the gap. And they're gonna have it running down here. Some people are gonna probably be like, oh, it's gonna leak there. There's gonna be water running here. I already had it on my car for a year, guys. Nothing's gonna happen. You actually can see where the water already randomly drips anyway. I haven't had the JB4 in about a month. The water randomly drips that way anyway. You see the water line. And that's not because of the JB4. Then you're gonna plug it in here. There should be the OBD down here. Plug it in. I'm only plugging in this to make sure it works, but once you set it and forget it, you don't have to do all of this. You can also pull on the line a little bit more if you want. So if you want it to be a little bit shorter, oh, I shouldn't have closed the door. You can pull it a little bit more if you don't want the whole line in there. See, to pull it a little bit. I pulled it so it's not as much slack in there. Then you could zip tie it or wound it up in here if you really want to. And pretty much now the only thing left to do is, of course, I'm gonna start the car for you to make sure everything is okay. But everything should be okay. But you want to start the car before you finish the process. Start it. I know the engine compartment's hot. Start it, make sure you get no check engine lights. Okay? I know the engine compartment's hot. And you can let it run if you want, just to make sure. You can let it run to make sure. And I might just show you quick. I do have the phone to connect to the JB4, so I'll probably show you guys how to do a connect through the JB4 next. And also put everything back as you did up here. Yep, putting everything back as you did before. You know, this engine cover, or this brake cover. Super weird how you put it in. Trying to do it on video. There you go. I'll pop that out. But yeah, just put this back in. Lock it. Alright, cool. But oh yeah, I'm supposed to put it in the bag, so I gotta take that off. And just make sure nothing's caught or hanging down there. Well, the heat is all on that side. Well, you should be good. Alright, now, you're gonna have to download the app, the JB4 app. It's gonna cost you some money off Android Market or Android Play, whatever it is. And same thing for iPhone, Apple Store. The app is going to cost a certain amount of money. Sorry, it's not free. You're going to have to download it. You're going to have to make your own profile, email and everything, set that stuff up. And you may have to find ways to connect to the Bluetooth within the app. but pretty much it's self-explanatory. Now, if you did buy your JB4 used, you're going to have to, unless they unmarried it or unlocked it from their email, you're going to probably get a code that's going to sit there and say, yeah, once you go through all of this stuff, it's going to probably sit there and say, oh, it's already in use. So you'll have to send them an email. But this is once you try to connect. So I already have all that stuff set up and done because I've already had this for about a year. Press the word, then connect. It's going to start scanning. And once it starts scanning, checking device authenticity, connecting to device, and update. Okay, your device is out of date. We'll update your device firmware. So I just have an update that it has to do for the JB4 app. Makes sense. It is what it is. Or it's updating the device. It is updating the device right now with this. And update's complete. Try to reconnect. Boom. Reconnect. Checking device authenticity. Shouldn't take too long. And then boom. All right. Now, these are different. You should be able to hold onto the screen or press on them, and it allows you to like change the minimum and max, and then you can set up the different graphs you want here. You have something RPM, pretty much similar to the RPM of the vehicle. Then you have temp IAT. So this is pretty much how hot your intake temperature is. I don't remember if this is post or pre. Post would be after the throttle body, or post would be after. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not too positive this ambient. This ambient is probably pre-turbo. It's probably not post-turbo. You have AFRs. Pretty much always going to be 14.7 idling because that's just what it is. The perfect air-fuel ratio. That's going to have your speed in mile per hour, ignition timing. That's just something that you can't control. That's what the car does, and the amount of boost you can run. Now, you can definitely change these maps up. It's not a problem. You can change the maps to all temperature and other just go look and explore a little bit. Can't really set anything like make any actual changes, but it's just more of a display. Then you have the different maps you can use. So JB4 has changed a lot. Before it would just have +1, +2, +3, but it won't let you know how much PSI you're running. But now they're a little bit more descriptive. 3 PSI above stock. When you see +3, that means you get 3 PSI above your stock configuration, and it's letting you know, hey, that should be about 91 octane. +4, 91 to 93. +6, they're saying, hey, listen, if you're going 6 PSI above stock, you should start running 93 octane. If you want to do absolute 20, that pretty much means that you target 20 PSI on the map, and that's going to be 93. Then you have 22 PSI absolute, where you're targeting that. Then you have map 6, which is custom, where you can make changes to how much boost you want to run through the maps. Then you have water meth injection. Then you have valet mode. Valet mode, pretty much you can actually turn down the amount of boost you're running, so that the car won't, pretty much won't go into boost. And then you can log it. I pressed log by accident, but you can log it too. Then you can look at your logs, right? So I just pressed that one by accident. It might, let me see. It should give me a little graph here to see. Yeah, it'll give you a graph. And then you can also use this to scan for codes, read codes. Like if you have any codes, you can use this as a code reader. And then your settings, where you can go through your name, shout out to Boost in Motion, and disconnect, and the firmware, and a couple of advanced settings that you can use, and the theme and stuff like that. But necessarily, guys, once you get this, honestly, you're going to set and forget it. So right now I have it targeting 22 PSI. I can actually go through a custom map and try to get the car to spool up even faster. That's what map 6 is really about. You can pretty much aim for the amount of boost targets you want, and you could always mitigate it. But right now I have it at 22. I'm in a 7 series, so I'm not doing anything crazy. But nonetheless, set it, forget it. And what you can do after this is you can unplug it. You don't have to keep it plugged in when you're driving the car. You don't have to keep this on and always connect when you're driving. You don't need to log every time you're driving, nothing like that. Like once you set and forget it and you feel comfortable, you don't have to connect this anymore. That's it. You don't even have to connect it there. It doesn't need to be powered. So you can unconnect it from there and call it a day. So outside of that, guys, shout out to Burger Tuning. This is not a sponsored video or anything like that. Should have asked them, but B58 been out forever, and I highly doubt they would. I mean, they worked with me before. They worked with me my C63 AMG W205, and they worked with me with my Q60 VR30 and my Q50. But I didn't ask them this time around. I picked it up for relatively cheap, and I think I picked it up for $200 or whatever offline. So can't beat that. But outside of that, guys, I'm not going to do a representation video, but it's very simple. These boost controllers can give you from a little as 30 more horsepower up to 80, almost 100 more horsepower above stock. So these cars, I have a 2-port B58, so that's not making no crazy power. It's somewhere around, the dynos, this car is making somewhere around mid to low 300s to wheel. So max boost and the proper fuel, this car is probably making close to 400 wheel horsepower, and that's perfectly fine with this car. It ain't a 750, because 750s have a lot more power, but I'm perfectly fine with that. But outside that, guys, you have good morning, good afternoon, night. Definitely add me at Boost in Foreigns. I really appreciate you guys for your support. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You guys have a good day. Thank you.